Hey guys, my Viking 82 here, back to show off yet more plunder that I've acquired over the last little while. Finally starting to catch up on everything. Got a nice little stack to go through, so I'm going to get right into it. Starting off with a band that I actually saw open up for Iron Maiden when I was lucky enough to see them the one and only time that I have been able to see them. And that is the Raven Age with Exile. Very kind of Edgar Allan Poe inspired artwork there. But yeah, if you're not familiar with the Raven Age, they are a melodic groove metal slash metalcore band out of London, England. Been around since 2009 and features the son of Iron Maiden's Steve Harris, George on guitars. And yeah, this is just a compilation of older songs that have been quote unquote reimagined, as well as two new songs, No Man's Land and Wait For Me, as well as 4 live tracks. Have not had a chance to really listen to this one yet, but I have enjoyed everything else that I have heard from this band. And of course, came with a cool little postcard here that is actually signed by the band, so that's really cool. Nice to add that to the autograph collection. Next up, brand new album from the legends themselves, Carcass, entitled Torn Arteries. Yeah, not big on the artwork from this, but it's the music that counts, and this is an absolute banger. Of course, Carcass, if you're unfamiliar, started off as a gore grind slash grindcore band, now more of a melodic death metal band out of Liverpool, England. Been around since 1986. This is the band's 7th full-length album overall, put out just this year. And yeah, silly artwork aside, this is absolutely killer. Go check it out if you haven't already. Next two, they came from the Metalhead box last month. This is, I cannot pronounce this name to save my life, Crixquer with Poison Palinopsia, and Craven Idol with Forked Tongues. Of course, this band right here are a death metal band out of London, England, now currently located in New Zealand, been around since 2011, and features members of Grave Miasma, Scythian, Temple Nightside, among many others. This is their debut full-length album out on Invictus Productions / Dark Descent just this year. And I've listened to this a couple times, and I don't know. I can't really seem to get into it as much as people are talking about how good it is. Craven Idol, I still have not had a chance to listen to them, but they are a black and thrash metal band out of London, England. Been around since 2005. This is their 3rd full-length album overall, put out just this year by Dark Descent Records. And I have heard this band before, and they're usually really awesome, so definitely looking forward to checking that one out. This one I actually already own, but the classy one himself tagged me on Facebook, telling me that there was a special version of this that was being sold by this one website. So, of course, had to pick it up. And lo and behold, the place was located here in Indiana. So that was really cool. This is actually a death metal classic in my eyes. This is Gutted with Bleed for Us to Live. And if you're not familiar with Gutted, they were a death metal band from Cleveland, Ohio, active between 1992 and 1997. This debut full-length album was originally put out by Red Light Records in 1994. This is a Repulsive Echo Records reissue put out just last year. And the reason I picked this up is that it is actually signed by guitarist Billy Mills. So that is cool. Of course, I would love to have it signed by the entire band, but that's just not possible, so I would definitely accept having one of the guitarists sign this. That's still pretty cool in my book, so thank you, Lonnie, for bringing that to my attention. Next up, Act of Denial with Negative. If you're not familiar with this band, they are a melodic death / groove metal band out of Croatia. Been around since just last year in 2020. It features Bjorn Speedstrid from Soilwork on vocals and Steve DiGiorgio of Death and Sadist and a bunch of other bands on bass. This is their debut full-length album put out by Crusader Records just this year, and I've listened to this a couple times. Really solid stuff in my opinion. I would definitely go check this out. Next up, Molten with Dystopian Syndrome. Yeah, this is a death thrash band from San Francisco, California. Not quite sure when they formed, but yeah, this is their debut full-length album put out by Redefining Darkness Records just this year, and this is an absolute banger of an album. Hell of a debut, I gotta say. Definitely go check these dudes out. And then next up, the Kaiju returns with Oxygen Destroyer and their brand new one, Sinister Monstrosity spawned by the unfathomable ignorance of humankind. Say that one 3 times fast. Yeah, really awesome artwork. If you're not familiar with Oxygen Destroyer, they are a black death thrash metal band out of Seattle, Washington. Been around since 2014. This is only their second full-length album put out by Redefining Darkness Records this year, limited to 500 copies. So if you love killer death thrash and love Godzilla, go give Oxygen Destroyer a shot. All right, this page flipped over here. Next 2 are from the same band. This is a band that I've seen their albums here and there and seen their logo and people talking about them, but just never actually got around to checking them out until here recently. So I had to pick up a couple from them, and that is Splattered Cadaver with Butchered Merciless and Human Stew. Of course, if you're not familiar with this band, they are a brutal death metal band out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Been around since 1991. And yeah, Butchered Merciless here is actually the band's debut full-length album, originally put out by United Guttural Records in 2001. This is an independent release by the band just this year, and this is basically their original debut full-length album, which was entitled Merciless Butchery. This here is actually just a remastered edition with the original mix with guitarist, what is his name? Jay Dykus, I believe is how you pronounce his last name, on vocals. So really cool stuff. And then Human Stew here is just a demo compilation put out by Savard Records in 2006. Both well worth checking out in my opinion. And last but not least, this band really needs no introduction. This is a no-brainer to buy when I knew this was coming out. And that is a brand new one from Aborted entitled Mania Cult. Absolutely badass artwork. And yeah, if you were for some reason not familiar with Aborted, they are a brutal death metal / grindcore band out of Belgium. Been around since 1995. This is the band's 11th full-length album overall, put out by Century Media Records just this year. And it's Aborted. You got to check it out. If you love great brutal death metal, got to have Aborted. So yeah, that is going to do it. Thank you all so much for watching and subscribing. And until next time, stay brutal.